And you are live.
Thank you. We'll begin the Plan Committee meeting of Akron City Council. Roll call, please.
Lesko,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Baylor, Mosley.
Aye.
All committee members are present except for Councilwoman Baylor.
Thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Very good. We have two items that are up for a public hearing. Could you please read in the first one, Sarah Biviano? And then I will
Sure.
describe the process after that.
Sure. The first item up for public hearing today is an ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish a kennel at 640 East Catawba Avenue and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. The process will be that we will be provided a description of the conditional use that's proposed to Akron City Council here this afternoon. After that, the clerk, Sarah Biviano, will swear in those individuals that wish to speak before the committee. After that, we will then open up the public hearing and ask for comments from the community in reference to those conditional use requests. We'll then close that public hearing and open up for questions from the committee and then from all of City Council. And that's the process. We'll repeat that this evening at 7 o'clock and ask those that wish to participate then, even if you're here today, you can participate at 7 o'clock this evening. Plus, what we'll also do is make a recommendation at 7 o'clock this evening, either in favor, against, or to table an item, take time for further consideration. So with that, I'd like to get a report from Mr. Antonucci, I believe, in reference to the first conditional use request. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Laura Lawson is proposing to establish a kennel at this location, 640 East Catawba Avenue. Petitioner stated that the 10-foot by 28-foot or 280 square foot detached accessory structure located in a rear yard houses 4 kennel cages and is soundproof and insulated. While the kennel usually only holds 4 dogs, there is room for an additional pet carrier. The petitioner, doing business as Safe Harbor for Strays, also operates a Facebook page for the nonprofit Rubber City Rescue. The zoning staff had received a complaint about the kennel use and a letter was issued on January 30th this year. Conditional use request was filed a week later. The petitioner stated that she's been rescuing animals from the location since 2017, but the need for animal rescue services has skyrocketed after the COVID-19 pandemic. She's provided rescue services for Akron and other countywide police departments, Ohio Highway Patrol, Akron Summit County Animal Wardens, and the Humane Society. If the Summit County Animal Control Facility is closed, full and or refuses to accept a dog, the petitioner will house the animal in her kennel. She stated that if she's unable to eventually place a dog with animal control, they're vetted and then put up for adoption. Providing small-scale emergency kennel services not only provides beneficial services to the local safety forces and humanitarian agencies, but is vital to the quality of life for the citizens of Akron. Since the kennel is located near a neighboring solid wooden fence running along the western property line, it's partially screened from view. The D property also borders to the south an unopened section of Lobby Avenue. Such planning staff's of the opinion that this property is suitable for a small indoor kennel. The indoor kennel is insulated and properly maintained. The Office of Integrated Development, Planning Staff, and Planning Commission recommend approval subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Antonucci, for your report. Just a little preface here before we open it up for comments from the community. I just want to mention that we are, I know Mr. Kamer is the ward council person, is very familiar. I've stopped out and visited for a spell the site where the conditional use is being requested. And I just like to remind everyone that we are here on a land use, on a conditional zoning. Admire the mission of the safe harbor. Admire the mission, but we're here on land use and zoning, and so that's what the discussion should be around. And we understand that this has been of concern for a bit, and so I know we have quite a bit of work ahead of us in terms of ensuring that stray dogs are safely returned to their homes. And I know that the petitioners have done that work for some time and has done an outstanding job of it. But just wanted to remind everyone, this is a conditional use. And so, we'll have plenty of work ahead. But with that, what I'd like to do is open up the public comment section of this request and ask that if there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor of this conditional use request, if you could please, and Sarah Biviano, our clerk, can read in the names of those that have signed up. But if you could please provide for us your name and your address whenever you address the committee. Thank you very much. Sarah, could you please go ahead and introduce the first individuals?
Sure. We did have 2 people sign up, but only one has joined us at this time for the 640 East Catawba. Laura Lawson, if you could please unmute and I'll swear you in. If you're having trouble, I can send a prompt that's going to ask you to unmute on your screen.
There we go.
There we go.
You've got it. Okay. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Laura Lawson.
Hello, nice to see you again. Now, our kennels, I know the biggest concern was aggressive dogs. We don't house those. We're not supposed to house those. Those are supposed to go straight to Summit County Animal Control, VI dog warden. When we do come across those, we do contact whoever is on call. And we do take every appropriate measure. As Jeff stated, he did come out, and when you open up the back of the kennel, it is completely fenced in with little outdoor, so they can go out and stretch their little legs. But the entire lot is fenced in on the back as well. So even if they got out of that little section, they're going to get caught no matter what. There's cameras everywhere, and I'm always here. If I'm not here, I'm out rescuing, but there's always somebody at the resident.
Thank you. Thank you. And just for the record, Ms. Lawson, if you could please provide for us your address as well, and that you are the petitioner.
Yes. My name is Laura Lawson. I own and run Rubber City Rescue. My address is 640 East Catawba Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44306. I did send a video from last year where we did a segment with Fox 8 News, and we were doing this in the garage of Jason's house, who's sitting next to me. And the need just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we just needed something more secure and a better environment for the animals and the people in general, not just in somebody's garage and scattered throughout Akron. So we had a special place, one place set up where the city of Akron has the dog wardens actually have keys to the facility if they need to get in at any given time. As I showed Jeff, when you're in there, everything that you need is right there at your fingertips, including catch poles, snares, you name it, it's there. Every kennel is equipped with a raised bed, puppy pads, their own food and water bowls. A leash hangs right at the kennel, so the leash goes on the dog before the door is completely open. We have the 4 kennels, but there was one kennel in the front that we call the love bug kennel. So it's just by itself, and then you have to go through another door which is fenced in from the other 3 kennels. If you're not quite sure about the dog's behavior, they are back in that section. And the ones you less trust are usually in the far back corner.
Thank you so much.
But they're really secure. They even have tops on them.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much. We appreciate all you do.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. Is there anyone else here, Sarah Viviano, that has registered with us to speak?
I
I'll
don't,
speak. Oh, sorry.
I don't know if Jason was registered, but he's right beside me. He would like to speak.
Sure, as long as if he could be sworn in. I don't know if he is sworn in or
No,
not.
I haven't been sworn in on this one. One, when we were there, I was, but this one I have not yet. No.
Thank you.
If you could please raise your right hand. Do you
Don't let
swear?
Tom. Okay.
Thank you.
Oops.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
No problem. With our rescue, I am the person on call at night for Akron Police. They all know me personally. They call my cell phone from their personal cell phones sometimes because they can't get services or whatever. But I am on call all night for them if they do an arrest or pick up a stray or find an abandoned dog. They call me because I will respond faster. Actually, I've been told by some of them that I respond a lot faster than the wardens do. Because normally I'm around, I'm in the kennels, I can jump in the car and go. And then what I do is when I get the dog, I bring it over here. I send Laura a text message, let her know, hey, I'm putting one in your kennels. And she normally is expecting me to be there. She goes out, she gets the kennel ready, she gets water, food for the dog as soon as it gets there so that it is cared for. It knows that this is a safe place for it. But normally when I first pick up a dog, even if we know who the owner is, first thing I do, I carry a microchip scanner with me, is scan for the microchip. Because we actually had some dogs that we've gotten that were stolen. And we've gotten them back to their original owner that the microchip was registered to. And a lot of places and people don't do that. And, we care about that dog and being where it's supposed to go.
Thank you.
Where it's
Thank you.
legally supposed to be.
Thank you for all you do. Is there anything in reference to the zoning piece or any comments on any of that? We're charged with just the zoning piece of it.
Right. I mean, with the zoning, I mean, the fact that we have she has the kennels outside, which are, like as I said, very secure. That way we have a place to put the dog until we can get in contact with whoever's supposed to get it. Because if it's not there, then the dog's just going to run free, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, you see all the stuff on the news where these dogs did this or that or whatever, and with us, it's not going to happen. We will get there as quickly as we can to bring it to the zoned area to keep it safe for the wardens.
Very good. Thank you again for all you do, sir. Any other comments?
No, there's really no house next to where these kennels are, because they're kind of far back. The closest house is hers, and if there's any problems, she can deal with it, not me.
Very good. Thank you so much for both of you for your comments. Anyone else, Sarah Biviano, that's registered to speak?
The other person that registered has not joined the meeting.
Okay, good. Well, should they, we can perhaps go back and take temporary time, at least on the public hearing portion. And then whenever we're done with Q&A, we'll then close the public hearing. So with that, with hearing no one else, I just open it up. I won't close the public hearing, but we'll ask for comments from anyone on the committee that may have them in reference to the conditional use on Catawba. Any questions or comments at this time? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Thank you. And so we will go ahead and close that up. But whomever that person is that signed up for this evening, hopefully they could perhaps make it this afternoon, or this evening, I should say. Missed this afternoon meeting, but yeah. And we also would like to see Laura Lawson and also the gentleman who spoke. You're welcome back this evening at 7 o'clock. We'll basically, again, repeat that process that we just had done. And what we'll do is then make a recommendation to all council, either again, in favor, against, or just to take time, for further consideration, to give all of council opportunity to take a deep dive in terms of the land use itself. So with that, we'll move on to the next item. And if you could please read that in, Sarah Biviano, I appreciate it. Thank you again for attending, Ms. Lawson.
Thank you. How do we invite the public to tonight's hearing?
Sarah Biviano?
So they would need to register with me. If you can have them email me on the notice itself that you received, that information is included. Anyone that would like to attend, please email me as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, have a good day.
Thanks. Take care.
The second item up for a public hearing today is an ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish a dumpster business at 1029 West Waterloo Road and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Antonucci?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee members, Brian Gregory is requesting permission to establish a commercial dumpster storage business at this residentially zoned property. The petitioner's business, known as Gregory Roll-Off Containers, is a part-time family-owned and operated waste management company that provides dumpster rental and clean-out services to customers in Akron and Northeast Ohio. The dumpsters are primarily used for temporary storage of construction and demolition debris. The large property contains a single-family house in which the petitioner resides, located near the West Waterloo Road right-of-way. The rear of the property, which is paved with concrete, contains the business use. The space between the two rear yard sheds is where the one semi-cab is parked. The remaining rear half of the property contains an area for the storage of dumpsters, which range in size from 12, 15, or 20 yards. The southern portion of the property contains solid wooden fencing with a gated driveway. Kohler Ditch runs along the western property line, with the northern portion of the eastern property line bordered by trees or vegetation. This property has a prior history of commercial use. In 1988, a previous owner was granted permission, conditional use approval to establish a tree service business, and the property was developed as such. However, the property reverted to its current zoning classification when the property was sold in 2004. While he owns 10 dumpsters, the petitioner stated that he typically only has from 1 to 3 dumpsters on site overnight due to frequent rental activity. And while many of the dumpsters stored on site are empty, he occasionally has one filled because the pickup was made after a landfill closes. Planning staff recognizes that the northern and western sides of the property are bordered by unopened right-of-way. There is industrial zone land to the northwest and 1 block east. As such, the unique nature of the property and prior development as a small-scale commercial use makes the current proposed use reasonable. Solid fencing along the south portion of the property, the requirement that the storage of all dumpsters be north of the northernmost shed, plus the vegetation and natural barriers around the remainder of the property should ensure adequate screening of any business activity from abutting properties. To prevent littering, any dumpster containing debris should be covered and stored on property no longer than 48 hours. To mitigate noise, business activity should only occur between the hours of 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Further, there should be no storage of chemicals or household waste, trash, or rubbish, nor dumping of any debris into Kohler Ditch. This Kenmore property is properly maintained and the petitioner complies. If the petitioner complies with conditions, Office of Integrated Development Planning Staff and Planning Commission would recommend approval. Thank you.
Thank you for that report, Mr. Antonucci. At this time, and I'll just remind, if we have new visitors here wishing to testify, that what we'll do is we receive the report from the planning department. We'll swear in any individuals that wish to speak before the committee. We'll open up the public hearing portion, and we'll close the public hearing portion, open up to committee members for questions, and then council members for the questions. 7 o'clock to meeting this evening. We'll go through that process yet again, and we will make a recommendation following the public hearing this evening, either in favor, against, or to table an item and take time. So with that, we'll open up the public hearing portion. However, though, if there's anyone here wishing to speak, they will need to be sworn in from our clerk, Sarah Viviano. Sarah?
Yes, we had one person sign up for this public hearing, Brian Gregory, the petitioner, who is here. Mr. Gregory, can you hear us?
Unmute, please.
Here
Hi, can you hear me now? Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. I'll swear you in and then you can provide testimony. If you could please raise your right hand. Do you
Yep.
swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
You're
you, sir.
welcome.
Will you
Thank you.
please provide for us your name and address? Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Brian Gregory, the owner at 1029 West Waterloo Road. And I'm just looking for, you want me to go on? Sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By all means. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just looking for, tradition, keep my container here, for, like right now, I'm just saying I got 4 in the yard, but two going out tomorrow and 2 going out on Wednesday. So just store them. I'm just a small up and coming business. So I get big. People buy a big commercial piece of land. I work for a great company now, the Vanderveer Group, Mike Vanderveer, Jerry. I've been there 20 years. I just want to start a small business and give back to Akron. You know what I mean? Been very blessed. And they give a lot back. I want to do the same. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Is there anyone else who's signed in? Sarah Viviano?
No, that was the only person that signed up for this public hearing.
Okay, very good. With that, we'll close the public hearing portion, but then again, open up to questions from committee members. I have one question. It's probably more for Mr. Antonucci, but there is situations often where we share concerns with the state or the federal government, obviously, and with land use, et cetera. But with this here, demolition and construction debris, et cetera, is there some form of registration or anything with the state of Ohio that needs to be done, or the federal EPA or something in reference to a business like this?
There may be, I guess, yeah, that could be something that we might want to put on as a condition of approval, licensing. I believe there would be. I don't believe we have that listed in the ordinance presently, but maybe that's a good question for Mr. Gregory in terms of the licensing.
Thank you, Mr. Antonucci. Mr. Gregory, is there a licensing procedure that one must go through in order to conduct a business such as this?
I guess on my note, just when I get that, take it to the landfill, the C&D or Challenger Butchers. But I mean, Ohio never asked me for anything. I mean, do my tax return, everything in, but they never asked me for anything else. I guess I could check into Ohio too. I got my certificate from Ohio, my LLC, and
Very good. Thank you.
you're welcome.
I'll open it up to any other questions from any committee members at this time. Okay. Any council members have any questions at this time?
Can I add one more thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I would say too, mostly, it all going to the landfill, so I ain't bringing it back, storing it, unless it overnight for an evening, but most time, yeah, I ain't on site, so
Gotcha.
ain't holding. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem whatsoever, Mr. Gregory, for coming forward. I see that Nancy Holland's hand is up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for recognizing me, even though I'm not a member of the committee. I just wanted to express my appreciation for your question and Mr. Antonucci's response. I think that when we're talking about a proposed use such as this, dealing with, more than likely, materials, substances that are likely to be involved here, I think that a simple step, but an important one, is to ask that, any necessary, sorry about this, any necessary permitting or review processes be made part of a condition list. So thank you for the question, and thank you, Mr. Antonucci, for the answer. This matters.
Any further questions or comments from any council members? Anything? Okay, very good. Oh, Mr. Freeman.
Hi, thank you. Hey, I have received multiple phone calls and some visits about this from neighbors. And I was wondering, have the neighbors been notified of any of the conditions that planning has placed on this?
I would say the neighbors have been notified, and we did hear from some neighbors too who had some concerns, and actually through planning commission as well. So folks have been notified. Yes.
Okay, and they have been notified of the conditions. I know you placed conditions as far as hours of use and different things. Are they aware of that, or are they just aware of the zoning?
Some may be aware of that, but we do have the report available for folks. I'm not sure. I know some may have talked to folks in my office, we may have forwarded those write-ups. So I can make sure that that goes to whoever needs to see that.
Okay, that would be good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Further questions or comments from any council members? Anyone? Okay, very good. Not hearing any. Mr. Gregory, I believe, we'll invite you back this evening again at 7 o'clock.
Oh.
Have an additional public hearing. You'll be able to make comments at that time, I'm sorry. And then what we'll do is after we close the public hearing tonight, the committee will make a recommendation to all of council, either in favor, against, or just to take time and table the item for further research. So that's the process.
Okay.
So you're aware. Thank you, and hope to see you tonight at 7 o'clock. Very good. With that, anything else from any council members? Because we are concluded, I believe. No more public hearings, Sarah Biviano?
That is the final public hearing, but you do have some new
Oh, we do
items.
have new legislation. That's right. Thank you. Can you please read? Well, we'll take time on the balance of the agenda and then move into the new list. I believe there's 4 items, correct?
That is correct.
Could you please read them in?
Sure.
Thank you.
Item number 1 is an ordinance approving the 2023 Consolidated Annual Action Plan, including applications and certifications for the Community Development Block Grant, the Home Investment Partnership, and Emergency Solutions Grant programs, authorizing the Director of Planning and Urban Development to enter into all necessary contracts for the operation and term of the programs and declaring an emergency.
Yes, I see. I believe Helen Tomic's here for this.
Yes, good afternoon. This is scheduled for a public hearing on Monday, May 8th.
Very good. Thank you. All those in favor of a public hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Item number 2.
Item number 2 is an ordinance authorizing a conditional use to vary the side yard area requirement to construct a garage at 70 East Dresden Avenue and declaring an emergency.
And this is up for public hearing as well on May 15th. All those in favor of a public hearing on May 15th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Very good. The ayes have it. We'll advertise for a public hearing. Item number 3.
Item number 3 is an ordinance amending or supplementing Title 15, Chapter 153 Zoning Code, Article 8 On Premises Exterior Signs, and Article 11 Board of Zoning Appeals regarding ground signs in residential areas and declaring an emergency.
Very good. And this is up for a public hearing as well on May 15th. So all those in favor of a public hearing signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Against? Very good. The ayes have it. Advertise for public hearing. 4.
Item number 4 is an ordinance authorizing the purchase of various interests in real property located on or around Riverside Drive to facilitate the North Side Interceptor Tunnel project, authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into related agreements and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Is someone here for this particular item?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, this is Chris Luddle, Service Director. This is our North Side Interceptor Tunnel. A few weeks ago, you probably remember we brought a couple of these parcels to you. These are 5 more parcels that are owned residential, privately owned. There's 5 more after these. We've come to an agreement. We're going to pay the rate set forth by the our law department, our planning department. These are small parcels. Some are as small as 444 square feet up to 3,296 square feet, depending on what part of the property we go under. Some are just under the corner of driveways. For some reference, this tunnel project is about a little over a mile long, and this tunnel will be anywhere from 160 to 180 feet below the property line. So we are paying appraised value, and with that, I will take any questions.
Thank you. Chris, is these are all vacant land?
No, these all have homes on them. They all have homes on it, sir. Yes.
Okay, because it seems as though that the prices are kind of low there.
Well, like the one for 400 or for 880, it's just like under the very corner of their driveway. Okay.
Okay.
So for the most part, this tunnel is going to go under Riverside Drive, but people are familiar with that part of Riverside. There's that between like Pitkin and up to Mount Vernon, that road actually goes around. So we have to go under these parcels or part of these parcels to keep the tunnel in a straight line.
Excuse me. So these are primarily like mineral rights, or under it. It's not. You're not acquiring.
This is a subsurface easement. That's all.
Public
it is.
utility. Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. I see Mr. Lombardo.
Thank you. I just got my question answered because I was just wondering, in case those residents call me, it's subsurface.
Subsurface, and we negotiate with all of them. So yes.
Right. It's not like you haven't been in contact with them. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, the description doesn't mention the utility easement piece of it. I see Nancy Holland.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Luddle. And I guess for the benefit of the viewing audience, I just wanted to detail down into this a little bit more. I understand easements probably more than most, but when we talk about the process that precedes our process here, the city actually has deep dialogue with property owners. There is a negotiation process. And I just want to make sure that we all have that shared understanding that's a thing that happens before this comes before city council.
Yeah, they all got noticed. We had 2 public meetings on this already. Well, we will have another public meeting at the councilman's request before the project starts. So yes, there's been numerous dialogues between us and these property owners, and obviously with people it doesn't even affect their property. We've had dialogue with them just to explain the project and what'll be going on out there.
Super. And is it fair to say that the notice to this neighborhood extends beyond the normal, say, notice that's issued for conditional use? This is a little bit more widespread, a little more comprehensive. Is that
yes,
accurate?
Definitely is. It definitely is, because some of it with the amendment to our consent decree, which we're able to do a smaller tunnel. If you remember, there's about 10 streets that we're going to put new storm sewer in, which means we eliminate the overflow forever. Okay, which is a lot better for the environment at the end of the day. But by doing that, we're able to do a smaller tunnel, which is inevitably going to save the residents, or the ratepayers, I should say, about $40 million. So this has been a very good project for the city, and we are advertising currently, so we did meet we had to meet a bid date of April 30th, which we've sufficed that. So we're in compliance with our consent decree.
Very good. Thank you for that answer and for all the hard work you and so many other city employees have put into this. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Here. Any other questions or comments? Is there a recommendation here, Mr. Luddle? Are you
consent's fine, sir? I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing okay on this. I mean, maybe later on, if we get close, we'll have to suspend the rules. But for these 5, we're good to consent.
Good, perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Luddle, for all your hard work and saving literally $40 million. It sounds like I know there's a lot of effort, that's going to help us tremendously, the ratepayers in Akron. Is there a recommendation for consent? I'll make it. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of the consent agenda signify by saying aye. Aye. I'm sorry, did I miss something? Roll call.
Fusco.
Aye.
Kamer.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Baylor. Sorry, she's not here. And Mosley.
Aye.
Very
The
good.
motion passes 4-0.
Thank you, Sarah Viviano. Okay, with that, we are adjourned. The Planning Committee meeting of Akron City Council is adjourned. Thank you all.
That is the final committee meeting of the day. Council will meet at 7 p.m. tonight.